Now, another player that we might be more open to selling potentially, even though I would potentially keep him unless it's a decent fee. The Star are reporting that Sheffield Wednesday attacker looking to set for a Turkish switch. Sheffield Wednesday attacker Anthony MUSABA looks set to complete a move to Turkey this week. The Star reported recently that Turkish outfit Rispor were one of a number of clubs to have shown interest in the Dutchman. However, they appear to have been pipped to his signature by fellow Super League outfit MUSABA. According to reports in Turkey, the 24-year-old is on the brink of signing a 4-year deal with Kaminzi Shmeskela. That was perfect pronunciation, Jack. I'll have no slander. And this publication, is that I think that's meant to say, and this publication already understands that he has left the Owls training camp at St. George's Park as the involved parties look to try and get a deal done. Gashtagurkect.com.tr, again, flawless pronunciation.
Flawless.
Have said that a long-term contract is on the table and he looks to make the switch overseas. However, there has been no word yet on how much they will be paying the Owls with regards to a transfer fee. MUSABA has had a good return since moving to England in 2023, getting 23 goals and assists in his 80 games in Owls colours. However, he did spend large parts of last season as a substitute under Hull. It will be his efforts in the Great Escape season of the 23-24 that he'll be most fondly remembered for if he does end up moving on. A number of players could leave the Owls in this summer, both from the senior side of the academy. However, none have been confirmed yet to the retain list, which was released in May. Jedi Gassama's switch to Rangers, also on a long-term deal, is expected to be the next one made public, which we've already spoken about. Can I just say, as I finish this article, I can feel Joe Cran's tiredness in this article.
Bless him.
In just the way it's written compared to his usual articles, and I feel for the man literally working overtime at the minute. So that's not me criticising him here. I just wanted to kind of say fair play
him and
for
Alex
all the articles he's having to churn out about Wednesday at the minute.
I feel so sorry for them.
But MUSABA, how are you sitting on the potential MUSABA exit?
I'm a bit more okay with MUSABA leaving because I also feel that like the standard the sort of football they play in that league is actually more ideal for him in that it's the wingers that cut inside and don't look up and don't actually look for the pass. Well, for example, Malik Wilkes has also signed for a Turkish side as well, and he was much the same. He barely ever looked for the pass. He was always cutting inside and trying for the shot. And that's very much MUSABA's style too. And I just think he's the player I'm more okay with selling if it means we've got to cover wages up and everything. I'm so strong-armed in the opinion that we can't lose Deji Gassama. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more okay with this one personally, but how do you feel?
Give MUSABA some credit. Towards the end of the season, he was lifting his head up a little bit more and looking for the pass, and I think that's been drilled into him by Danny and the rest of the coaching staff. No, you need to pass a little bit more. I actually think in terms of, I think the Gassama one isn't smart business. If the fee is acceptable, because we triggered an extension and we don't have an extension left on MUSABA, it would be a case of new contract time. Yeah. So for me, he is potentially the one you sell. If you keep Gassama, you do not get rid of both of them in this window, which looks like Wednesday are trying to do. Don't do that, right? MUSABA is a good player. There is potential in MUSABA. He's incredibly frustrating at some times. Yeah. And you can't get away with those frustrating players in the Championship. I don't know enough about the Turkish league. Maybe that sort of player with that pace, and the ability to take a shot and cut in and take a shot might be better in Turkey. But in the Championship, it doesn't always work. It's a lot more physical, you know. But I do still think he is an asset there. So if we're going to lose Gassama, that's when you throw the contract at MUSABA.
Exactly, yeah.
But because he's going to be out of contract and there's no option left, this is actually smart business to sell him as he approaches the final year after he's had an option triggered. We're in that option period now where we can actually cash in on him. So if this is actually a couple of million with sell-on, I'd take it. Yeah, that's a better deal for me in this situation. Actually, you know what, Gassama's I think Gassama's worth a lot more, but the 2.5 with a sell on, I think that's MUSABA's price.
Yeah, I do too.
Genuinely. And I'd take it for him. I'd wish him the best, but I'd also be opening to stay at Wednesday. Would you be happy? Would you be disappointed if this deal didn't go through, Jack? Would you be?
Oh no, he's still an asset. He's still an asset. He's just got. I just feel like he's got a lot of work to do in certain aspects of his game. Really, I feel like he needs to work. There's a lot of specifics that he needs to work on to be able to properly flourish. I feel otherwise he would just be stuck on the bench. But then again, look at how many players have left in the summer. It feels like he would just be the first choice anyway to play.
Yes.
But he still needs to. There's certain things. He's not quite the finished article just yet.
He's also not as young as Gassama, so he's more of the risk to keep on. He's 24. Yeah. You know, players like now, the way football's gone,
that's
players
where you get established in how you are, and it's very difficult to break certain habits or inherit new traits at that sort of an age. You know, you get very set in how
we're seeing more and more players in modern football get their big move at 26, Jack, on 5-year contracts. So Gassama would be coming up to that. So this could be the move that he has 2 years in Turkey, does well, gets his final big move sort of thing.
Oh, hello, Deli Bashiru.
26.
No, yeah.
But it's the way it could easily work for MUSABA. And again, I would be open to him having 2 more years with us and then see what happens at 26. Does he get his big move at 26 with us? Because that's when you find out what the player's probably going to be like as they go into their prime.
Yep, exactly.
And with modern conditioning, players do go beyond 30, but the finances sort of like if you're looking for big contracts in football, they're mainly handed to players at around 26 now. The contracts, unless you're exceptional world class, beyond 30, they're not as good. So if you're looking for a deal that would be bigger, like you look at MUSABA at 26 and you go, right, that's the player he's going to be. You'd think you'd get another 5 years out of him. We're going to sign him on that contract and that's going to be the contracted player. I do think he'd probably flourish in another league. Again, there's so many sparks of a fantastic player in MUSABA, but it's just not consistent enough. I think our take would be, I'm happy either way here, as long as it's not a stupid fee, Jack. As long as it's
as long as it's not
a small
pennies,
fee.